Good morning, everyone. Happy Supercharged Manifesting Monday. Welcome to the start of another week. I am excited for this conversation today. All right, I'm going to wait to see those of you that are here jumping in, saying good morning in the comments. As you know, here in the Money Family, it's all about Happy Money Day. Happy start of yet another week. Here they come. Here they come. Okay, so when I look that way, that's how I see the comments, just so you all know. And I love knowing that we get to start the week off together in this high energy, get some spiritual coffee. I'm like trying to reduce coffee and step into tea. So here they all are. All right. So I want to preface this conversation by saying I have my own spirituality experience that works for me. One of the things that, for a long time, I've been trying to be as inclusive as I possibly could. And so I didn't use the word God a lot because I really wanted everyone to feel welcome and like there was a place here for them. And I hope that that has you feeling that way. And for today's conversation, I am going to say God because that is my personal, that is who I believe in. I believe in God and I leave the space. If you notice, if you got the email, we also said GUS. So what does God, in parentheses, or GUS, God, universe, source, Buddha, Allah, whatever your belief system is, there is a place here for you. Okay. For the purposes of today's conversation, I am going to say God because that's my personal, that's who I believe in. Please change that word out for whatever works for you. Higher self, everything is welcome here. The principle is the same, the message is the same, whatever you choose to language it. All right. So there we go. All right. I love it. So I see everyone. Oh, Margarita says, I love that inclusion. Yes, everyone is welcome here. So one of the things that I thought about was, this quote that I have heard often, and sometimes every now and then it resurfaces when I get overwhelmed or stressed or like, wow, there's so much going on. And it is, to whom much is given, much is required. To whom much is given, much is required. And I want you to, as we start this beautiful Monday morning, just to think about that for a while, because every single one of us here, whether we're watching live or watching the replay, we all are so incredibly blessed. We're so incredibly blessed in this moment. If you took only 30 seconds to think about the myriad of things in your life at this moment, that truly is the representation of how blessed you are. The fact that you can be on here, the fact that you have a roof over your head, a comfortable place to live in, that you have a way of receiving money, that you have a place to store the money, that you have a cell phone you can communicate with anyone in the world that you desire, that at the drop of a hat you can pick up on a plane and go to the next part of the world if you wanted to. Like, we are so incredibly, we're free. We live in freedom, right? We're so incredibly blessed. And I started to reflect on this, and I thought maybe it's a conversation that we could all have this morning. So in exchange for this incredible blessing, and I think when I think of God, I always think of like the parental role, like me as a parent, and try to think of, how I want my children to receive, or how I want them to think about the life that they have, the life that I've created for them, how I have raised them to understand that they have the power to create anything that they want in their life. And so as their parent who has taught them and given them everything that they have, I sit back and, yeah, there are some things that I would like to see them do or believe, right? Or like, in exchange for all that I have created for them, yeah, I would like to see some things. Now I use the word required, but it's really another way of saying, what is your thank you? How can you say thank you? And I want to use this conversation in the context of really for this year, for this 2023, how can you say thank you in a way that up levels your personal life, but it's such an expression of I am so grateful. I am so grateful for all the blessings that I have received from God. And so all right. So I'm going to start with the four things, and I'm going to ask you all to type, to reflect. It's amazing to have these conversations first thing on a Monday morning. And my hope is that in exchange for my commitment to doing this, that you all truly sit with the things that we talk about and really implement, reflect, do something with it. That's one of the things that just is like my thing, where it's like we can have all these great conversations, but the purpose of the conversation is change, it's transformation, it's like awareness, right? And doing something with what we spoke about. And that's my heart's desire this morning, is that you reflect on these four things and just kind of evaluate how you're doing with them. So number one way that I think is to honor and love yourself more. Number one way to say thank you is, how can you honor and love yourself even more than you are right now? Um, I think of a time in my life when I was really working on this way of saying, I want to express this form of gratitude back to God for giving me life, for giving me this body, for giving me my life experiences. And the way that I remember languaging it was, I in a prayer, I said, God, I want to get to the point where I can love myself. And when I say this, I mean it 1,000%. I can love myself the way I know and believe you love me unconditionally. I I am telling you, this was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm amazed at in 2 years, I am transforming, I'm up leveling, but I sit here today in front of you and tell you I'm not 100% there with that. I don't know about you, but I am not. So, number one for me is I am actively pursuing getting to that place where there's just like at any given moment, I feel so much love for me, right? Unconditional love, honoring and loving myself unconditionally. So, how about you? This is number one. What's going to be required of you, I feel, this year as your thank you is to really step into honoring and loving yourself more than you ever have and more than you even think is possible. How can you do more of that? I'm jumping over here in the comments, right? Where are you with that? How do you see that you have room to grow? For some reason, the comments are not updating unless you're all not typing, and I like need you to type. So I want to jump over and see what I can see here with the comments. And then for some reason, I don't know if you're all typing or not. It's not showing up for me. It might be delayed. And so let's intend and hope that Nancy says, I never felt I was good enough. Nancy says, so timely for me. I've never felt like I was good enough. Loving me is the most important thing to me. Thanks, Ellie. Yeah. Martha says, I need to work on honoring myself. I feel that in the conversations that I have with women, if I could say, we're all mirrors of each other. So I always know that whenever I'm experiencing something or I have an awareness around something, there's a large possibility that, or a high possibility that a large number of you in the community are going through this too. How are you doing with loving and honoring yourself? How are you doing with loving yourself so unconditionally the way God loves you? How are you doing with that? Candy says, honor myself by asking what I want and not settling for less. I love that. All right. So, number two is honor your spiritual being. And how do you honor your spiritual being? By, I believe God gave us the gift to create. This is no other No other living form on this earth can do what we can do, right? We are the highest form of all creation, and we're given the ability to create our spiritual beingness. Like it's this precious gift. Have you ever thought about that? The cows don't have a choice. The goats, the chickens, the fish in the sea, like as far as we know, they can't decide, I want to go walk on the earth tomorrow. Or the cow can't say, you know what would it be like to be on the moon? I want to figure out how to do that. Or, you know what, I want to be a millionaire cow. Like, other living things don't have the choices that we have to create how they experience life. For all we know, they were created to be exactly as they are, and that is the highest form for them. But we were created, all of us human beings were created to create. We have the ability to create. That is such a blessing and a gift. And the question is, how are you using it? Are you constantly in creation? What does it say in the Bible? It says we came so that we can live and live more abundantly, and that we have the ability to create that life. We have the ability to do that. So I I love that. There's so many, the power of free will. So many of us, I see that it's one of those things. It's like you wake up and you breathe. And I don't think we really pause to say, wow, I have the power to subconsciously allow breath at all times to keep me alive. I feel it's kind of like that with creating. We take it for granted. We jump on a little manifesting thing here or there, but are we committed? Like I have committed my life experience to mastering this power that I have to create anything that I want. And it's one of the things that, people will look from the outside and say, you're so lucky, you're so this, whatever conclusions people want to make watching from the outside, not understanding my commitment to honoring my spiritual being and the power that I have to create. I am using this to the nth degree. I am maximizing this gift that I've been given in honor to God. And I just want to ask you to reflect on you doing that too. Are you creating every single thing that you want to have out of this life experience? Everything, every single thing. You have the power to create everything. And hold on a second. I have more trouble stopping creating to reset. That's interesting, Heather. We all have the power to create the life that God desires for us. Yeah. And that's such a great point, Denise, is that we have been given these desires. That's another way to look at it. Like, God gave you the desire to live abundantly. And then God gave you the ability to create, to use that desire to create any expression of it that you choose. It's like God's like, here's some desires. You choose, pick, choose, and refuse. And here you go. Here's the power to create them. And, that's number two. Like, how are we doing with that? I feel like this year it's time to up level, stepping into creating every aspect, not just money, but every aspect of your life, because you have the power to do that. And number three, honoring your capacity to be wealthy and abundant. Honoring your capacity to be wealthy and abundant. Um, as you know, like here in the Money Family, this is the conversation that we have all day, every day, certainly every Monday, every Thursday on Clubhouse. We're always in a conversation around, we came with this massive capacity. And what life does and the human experience does is one, it makes us forget that spiritual power that we have. So we think that life is happening to us, not remembering we're here to create and experience life. That's like the magical powers that we came with. Here you go, superpowers. Create your life, anything you want. You can do it. You can have it. You can create it, right? So we came with the superpowers, and we also came with desires. And one of those desires is for abundance. And so you have this incredible capacity to experience abundance. And I always say it's like going to the ocean. What is the size of your receiving container? You can go to the ocean and just close your eyes for a second and think about that scene. You're standing in front of the wide open ocean, right? That is the availability. The ocean represents what's available for you in terms of abundance and wealth. Did you go with a little cup? Did you bring your little teacup to get your abundance? Did you bring a bowl? Like, what is the size of the container that you go to this infinite source of abundance? What is the size of your container that you go to receive? And I feel like one of the things I truly believe is you believe in the God of abundance. We believe in a God of abundance. You believe in a universe that is abundant. So you have to like really reflect on what is my personal capacity. I don't know that it's the same for all of us because we're not all the same. I always say Diane has and Diane is my business partner and best friend, and so she has a capacity for 30 million. Everybody that knows her number is 30 million. Well, that might not be what it is for you. It's not what it is for me. It's different for everybody. But just being aware of, I am not a 1 mil. I'm not a 1 million capacity girl. I'm not a 500,000 capacity girl. Like that is just not me. I know in my heart of hearts what my capacity for wealth is, and it is massive. And so one of the ways that I choose to honor the fact that God placed us in this universe of infinite abundance, one of the ways that I choose to honor that is to really become acutely aware of what is my personal capacity and how am I going to this well of infinite abundance to receive as much of it as I possibly can in this lifetime. Right? My commitment is, and I say this, one of my big goals, if you would, in life is the purpose of living is at the end of our life to hear, well done, good and faithful servants. You made use of everything that I gave you. You did it to the best of your ability. I sent you down here with the powers to create infinite abundance, to receive anything you want. And you know what? You did your best, girl. You did really good. You did really good. Well done. That is what I feel. It's like that's what I want for my children. I have created a life where they have access to living in a safe place, in a beautiful home, setting them up so that they can go to really good colleges, they can get scholarships, they can be exposed to a lot of experiences throughout the world. Like I have done a lot to set them up for life. And yeah, I want to look at them at someday in the future and go, wow, well done. You used all that stuff that I gave you and you turned your life into this incredible, whatever success and happiness and joy looks like for them. Like you really used it all, Yeah, that is what I want to say as a parent. And that's what I feel God desires for us too. Okay, number 4 is honoring your God-given gifts. Now, I know that the number of people that watch every Monday morning are all mostly women. So I'm going to talk to us in a way that I know we can relate. Think about the holidays when you go shopping for a gift. And I am newlywed. Yes, 6 months, but still newlywed. So I think about when I want to buy a gift for my husband. When I tell you, I put a lot of thought into it, and as we're getting to know each other and we're learning more about our preferences. I really want to get him the gift that just is so him. It makes him so happy. He's like, wow, this is so thoughtful. It's perfect for me. And so I go to great lengths to learn him, to figure out what he would love, what would be a surprise, what's something that he would really value. And then I go and I get the gift and I package it. Can you relate? Like we put a lot of thought into the gift that we are giving to someone that we love, right? Now imagine the thought that God, your creator, however you language that, but for me, God put into giving each of us the gift that we each have. Whatever your gift is, think about the thought that God put into giving us our unique gifts, our talents, our skills, our whatever thing makes us special and who we are and how we serve and how we're here to express, right? All of the things that are within us out into the world to serve others. And so think about the thought that God put into that. And then you get to ask, okay, and so how am I honoring that gift? Did I get the beautiful package, put it on the bedside table, and never open it, for a while? Or do I kind of like look in there, look at it? Oh, it's really cute. Oh, what a nice gift, And we've all done this. Like someone's giving you a gift, and you like look at it. You're like with true heartfelt gratitude, but maybe you don't wear it. Maybe it's a piece of jewelry you don't wear, right? So they put all this thought into the gift, gave it to you, and then you kind of shelve it. And that's what I am stepping into, is like really, and I'm working with the goddesses on this, is like really understanding your thing that is your gift from God, and what about that thing makes you an authority in what it is that you're here to do. And I am telling you, I'm working on this from every angle in my life at the present moment. What makes me what makes me truly look in the mirror and go, I am maximizing my gifts and talents. And it says, to me, I think this is the greatest thank you. This is the greatest thank you, is to maximize your God-given gifts. So how are you doing with that? And how do you want to do that in concert? Candy, I just looked at your thing. It says, you guys look beautiful at the concert. And my mouth said concert as soon as I read that. But truly, how are you doing that in your life right now? Maximizing the gifts and talents that you have been given. And I love, just this is not like a B C, give you a good grade, bad grade. It's just awareness, like, where am I on the scale? Where am I on the scale with that? How am I doing with that? How am I saying thank you? And the ultimate thank you, when you look at these four things: loving yourself, because God took the time to create you just the way you are, perfect in every aspect. And can you love yourself unconditionally the way God loves you? How are you doing with that? Number two, how are you doing with honoring the spiritual being, the gift that you have been given to create anything that you want in life? The highest form of all living things, we have that gift to be able to do that. Number three, how are you doing with your capacity to experience wealth and abundance? It says, it says in the Bible, it's your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom, to give it to you. But how are you with receiving? What is the size of your receiving container for abundance and wealth? Are you actively working on, maybe when I started, it was a cup, it was a bowl, it was, right, maybe like the size of a sink or something. But you know what, Tasha, I am going to the ocean. I am actively working on whatever needs to happen within me so that my capacity keeps expanding. I remember when I started this journey, all I wanted was to make $5,000 a month. And Diane's watching, she can attest. I was newly divorced, and I was like, oh my God, if I ever got to a place in life where I made $5,000 a month, that would be the end all. I am not that Tasha today. $5,000, I'm not even sure if I could pay my regular living expenses, right? So I have constantly upgraded my capacity more, because why would God, universe, source, create infinite abundance for each of us to just get a little cup? Infinite. What would be the purpose of infinite abundance if each of us just gets a little cup? That doesn't make any sense. And so it's on us to go, how am I honoring the fact that I could have as much as I want, and there's still going to be enough for every single other human being to have as much as they want? Because why? The supply is infinite. What would be the purpose of infinite supply if we are not meant to have infinite demand? Just think about that. And how are you honoring that? So, me, I am actively doing the work on myself to keep expanding my capacity to receive. And then, number three, is to honor your God-given gifts and to ask yourself. And ultimately, I feel if we really increase and up level in these four areas as our thank you to God for 2023, this is what it looks like to be my ultimate goal. People ask, what's your mission or your vision for your company? And it's the same as my mission and my vision for me personally, to be an example of what it looks like when you are blessed by God. Like I don't even I go out, I don't have to say the words, "Oh, I'm blessed. I'm blessed." Like I don't need to say it. My heart's desire is to be doing these four things so well that any person who sees, like just observes me, knows intuitively, wow, that's a blessed woman right there. She is blessed by God, right? Not because we're not all blessed. We all are blessed, but you have to turn that blessing into a physical expression, right? For others to see, that lights the way for others to want to be on this journey too. And I feel that we were created to be a light in the world. The people that come to a conversation like this, you were created to light the way for others. And the greatest thank you, when I see my kids inspiring other kids, other adults even, that to me is like, wow, they have taken what I have given them and they're out there shining their light. And that is the greatest thank you to me as their parent. And I think the same of our creator. The greatest thank you is that we are truly living a life that is shining a light into the world as an example of what it looks like to be actively living our blessings. And so, with that, I haven't even looked at all the comments. Oh my gosh, look at the time. I thought this was going to be a 10-minute conversation this morning. I was like, I'm going to tell them these four things and send them on their way. Thank you, Tanya. Tanya says, beautiful conversation. Thank you. And so if nothing else, my intention is that this really just lights your spirit afire and recommits you to thinking about these four things. Choose one if you want, and just be like, I'm maximizing this one this year, right? And with that, two things. I'm really excited. Wednesday at 12, for those of you that are doing the Create the Wealthy You Masterclass, we're going to really dive into, understanding the identity crisis that you are experiencing because you don't understand really, or you are associating with an identity that is not truly who you are, right? So we want to create and step into the identity of you as everything that we talked about here. So you remember who you are and you step into that version of you more fully. So Wednesday at 12, I'm excited for those of you that are here for the masterclass. Oh, Serena says she took the whole day off for the masterclass. Oh my gosh. If you're not registered for it, message me, let me know. I'm not even going to put anything in here. Reach out to me. You know how to find me. Let me know so that you make sure that you're there Wednesday at 12 Eastern, this Wednesday the 8th. And the other thing is, if you're not signed up for our reminders, we are going into crazy momentum for the next 6 to 8 weeks. You want to be on our reminder list so that you get notified of everything that I'm going to be doing, because we're deepening, we're expanding, we are calling in, we are stepping up and leveling up our wealth in 2023. And you want to make sure that you're on this train. So type the word reminder if you're not on our Facebook reminder list. Type the word reminder, check Facebook Messenger. I'll send you a message there and you just click yes. I want all the reminders. Give them all to me, Tasha. And those of you that are on the reminder list, you know how amazing that works. Every Monday morning, you get a link right in Facebook Messenger. You don't have to search for how to get here. It makes everything so much easier, right? And with everything I have planned in the next 6 to 8 weeks, trust me when I tell you, you want to be on this list. So type the word reminder and click the message in Facebook Messenger. Have a wonderful and amazing day. Thank you, thank you, thank you for always starting off my week so beautifully. I love this time with you. It is sacred. Mwah. I hope that you got inspired and a lot of value from this conversation today. Bye, everyone.